Welcome, CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I am Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
Adam's dragging things out. We're cousins.
Oh man,
For
Lowery.
some reason, I don't know.
It's been
1
week
weeks
since I've looked at you. That was a bad impression of.
No, I knew what you were doing. That bare naked ladies.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Good job.
Yeah. We haven't had to guess songs in a year or two at this point.
So it was
And I
funny.
still got it.
Kind of side thing with everything is I was going through like buttons and stuff. And you would think that we might have like some musical background because we sing all our stuff, you know, or I've done a lot of the singing, or I'll take you and edit you
Singing
into
is
singing.
life.
And it's just all of our shit is like karaoke, kind of like all our buttons. It's not like the only thing that's original is our opener, like, because we paid for that to get done. From back in the day.
You mean just for like openers for segments or just all the buttons?
Yeah.
Because the one that you added tonight is fairly original.
Yeah. What is that one tonight? What are we doing again?
How you're going to press it?
What are
I was totally setting you up for that.
What are we doing
I'm gonna
again
get
tonight?
that shit out of the park. What are you doing?
You mean this one, Lowery?
I would just say build a better deck.
Yeah, I don't know when I said that, but
You
you're
say
digging
it
through the
all
buttons
the
tonight
time.
and found that. I don't say that
It was
all
a
the time.
quote, though. I see that one often on the Discord, on the Build a Deck channel, our deck building channel.
Build a better
Build
deck.
a better deck. Hey, guys, can you help me out with this? And then Lowery chimes in, build a better deck. No, you never say that on there.
So that's the only input I can give. I'm sorry.
All right, this is episode, what do we got? It is 188.
Jesus.
188.
We're 88 now?
Yeah.
188.
And
Does that mean anything? Is that
no,
no?
we're not at
no.
we're not at 200
We're like
yet. We're
a
getting
year
there.
and 3/4 at this
Yeah,
point.
and we're not at our anniversary, so it's 188. We're almost at 200.
That sounds great.
Last week was a freaking amazing episode. We had those guys from Cardsphere, Efren and Ted there. So that was we had a lot of feedback from that. A lot of questions, a lot of people joining.
Yep.
Like myself and doing their first trade like myself.
A lot of people on the Discord, and it sounds like people on the Twitterverse and YouTube's, at least 3 people there ended up joining as well. And so I guess I don't know if we're going to reach this so we're starting out. Adam's going to ask questions, and we're going to talk about how to do it rather than what you are doing.
Yeah. So
with the Cardsphere guys.
Yeah.
So there's like a different discussion.
yeah, because after doing my first trade or send out my first order, I had a lot of questions at that point. And so actually a lot of people did. There was a lot of people on, I think Jake was another one that had some questions and stuff like that. And you had a really good breakdown on Discord. So we're going to kind of go through that. You gave some tips of what to do. And so that's going to be for people that you listen to the last week's episode. You're like, hey, I joined it because it's fantastic, but now I have questions. Well, Larry's going to try to answer some of those.
So the
today.
first segment's going to be ouch, ouch, get off my hair. And
which I didn't. Okay.
so press a button.
Just a tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Yeah. So that'll be just the tips for that. And then what else are we doing?
Start out with. We'll do Savant, which I will clearly dominate again.
If you get stumped this week, we have a new card. No matter what,
we have a new card next week.
Yeah, new card next week. If you don't get stumped, we'll have 2 cards because we'll have Esper Sentinel continuing and then another one added on. And I think is that it for today then? Oh no.
No. And then we're gonna go through Legends for the new Innistrad sets. And we're going to play Commander 99 or Garbage.
Muff Garbage! There's a lot of them. We're going to go through both sets. We're trying to condense this down because in the spring, remember it was like, we had like 4 weeks of spoilers. And then all of a sudden it was like, Modern Horizons 2 is coming. I was like, oh my gosh, we can't have a normal episode.
And they've been doing that for the last year. Yeah. Ever since Ikoria, it feels like just
set. Like shot.
You goddamn getting the. I think we said this last time. I personally don't like having the Commander set right on top with the set release.
Yeah,
give it a month.
Yeah,
give it a month and just fucking because I don't know what to buy. I might not buy anything. I'm just going to get singles at this point. I'm spending less money.
Yeah.
So
it's weird because normally we'd be buying a box each time. And with the Dungeons and Dragons, which I bought a lot of good cards, but I spent probably less than I would have buying boxes, but I got all the cards I wanted. You know, that was kind of the nice thing is I got all the cards I wanted in the art that I wanted or whatever edition I wanted in it, foil or whatever.
Maybe they should just print better cards.
Yeah. Well, and then this set is full of good, interesting cards. I love the lands in this. These look fantastic. Yeah. But again, I might just go for singles on this set as well. It almost feels like boxes for me now are for the special sets and standard sets are my single sets. Like it just, because
it's definitely where I'm at.
The prices tank for standard stuff. Whereas special sets, the boxes, you could get a lot of value and they don't print them all year round. You know, it's pretty much done. Whereas these are going to be printed for the next year and a half or so. So, all right. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to kind of get really into this stuff because we got a lot of cards to talk about. I do want to mention a couple things. I had one little family. Well, you were gone. I do want to talk about like what you guys did.
We could talk about this on next episode because we're going to double cast.
Yeah, I guess next one's going to be a little shorter. Yeah, let's do that.
It's going to be a little bit looser.
Let's do that. So let's get, I will say one thing with this one though.
Into the beer and pizza.
Well, we'll get into the beer and pizza. I will be streaming the Diablo 2's release this week. So just FYI.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so I'm going to be on Thursday evening-ish and then all of Friday during the day. If you want to jump on YouTube and chat, whatever. If you want to play, get a PC if you have a PC to play the game. I said it on the Proxy Time video, but if you see me playing and you want to jump in the game, the password will be boobies. So that's pretty easy. Hello boobies. Sorry, not just boobies. It's hello boobies.
Oh, hello boobies.
Yeah. You know,
keep it good. Keep it clean.
Going with there it is. This guy.
Hello boobies.
So that'll be the
keep it polite. You got to be polite.
I gotta say hello to the boobies first. So that's Thursday night and Friday. I'll be doing that. So that's just, it's not magic, but I'll be streaming that stuff. So it's
something we figure that now you just like us as people and we're going to start doing whatever we want. I'm going to start streaming me cleaning my house and just having you guys talk to me.
Just have your earbuds in and just holding you'll get a
scrubbing my toilet and be like, oh yeah, I use the cheapest bleach product. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that little bit on the toilet seat, that was corn from last night. I just exploded, and I'm sorry about that, guys.
I saw a disgustingly funny joke. It was like vegetables. It was corn, broccoli, and carrots, and they're like super happy that they're on the table, super happy being eaten. And then they're like going down a slide of your stomach and intestines. And then they come out and the broccoli and carrot are poop. And the corn's like, let's do it again. the pieces of poop are like looking like, fuck you.
I look like shit. I'm fine. That's awesome. What are you drinking there, Larry? I see you tipping it back there. So
that's a good point.
Let's hit our
beers
up.
I'm crushing right now. Yeah. I am drinking a Hop Valley, same company, and it's their Cryo Stash Imperial IPA, and it is very tasty.
Nice. I am drinking a Bonfire S'mores Stout.
Ooh.
Jack Pine Brewery. Isn't that a Minnesota one? No. Oh yeah, Baxter, Minnesota. Yep. So it has a little hint of the s'more in it. It's not something I'll go buy again, but it's all right.
What they did was they had like a whole 50-gallon batch, and then they like burnt a marshmallow and threw it in there, and then let it dissolve. Yep. That's all they did.
Pretty much. All right, let's get to the tags. So, there's some new things happening with the Patreon stuff here. So we'll be announcing it for the next 2 weeks, but new to Patreon is before what we were doing with Patreon is like if you were a $5 or more patron, you got to pick from the last 2 months of proxies. So that current month and the month before. Well, we're changing it up. We're making which at this point we have over 215 proxies that have been made since we've been doing Proxy Time stuff. 215 proxies made. You can choose any of those each month, for whatever corresponding to whatever level you're at. But not only that,
There's more?
There's more. If you've seen on Twitter or on the Discord a little bit, yeah, you're good source.
As seen on Twitter or Discord.
We figured out how to do some foil proxying. So foil proxies are going to become available. The difference with that is we're adding it to different higher levels. So the $10 level is when it's going to start. And if you're a $10, you get one. Yep, one proxy.
One, or the regular 3.
Or your regular 3. Or at $15, you can get two, or your regular 4. And then the $20 level, you can get 4 foil proxies or your regular 5 proxies. So we're adding that. And then we had that $100 lifetime thing. We're still giving a little bonus for the $100 lifetime members. What we're doing there is actually you're getting a shout out on the YouTube podcast at least. Anytime we have our intro, we'll have a shout out to each person that is above the $100.
And I'm assuming that you're going to speed up our voices like the Micro Machine Man. Be like, thank you.
Well, I was just I wasn't thinking we'd read off everybody's name. I was just thinking we'd say, hey, thanks to the Garuk Dong level.
Well, now it's got to be Garuk Dong level.
Garuk Dong level patrons that are $100 or more. So you guys will get shout outs on YouTube. So that'll be pretty sweet. I'll be at the beginning of those videos. So that is... So big changes with Patreon. We already have a crap ton of people in there, but so the dollar still gets you in. You just don't get a part of the proxies. You have to get to $5 to start getting proxies, and then foil starts at 10. So that's the changes. We'll announce that next week as well, and then we'll kind of just get back to our regular scheduled program. But that is the way to support us financially. The free way to do it is jump on YouTube, subscribe there. That's all you gotta do. Subscribe and watch our videos and like them. The other thing with the YouTube stuff is here's our schedule. Mondays is Curated MTG. Tuesdays is Proxy of the week that it was done on. So that's when the actual proxy comes out and the videos all whatever edited and everything. I don't really edit it, but that's whatever. Wednesdays when you see the podcast. Thursdays Proxy Time shorts. So the proxy they did from Sunday turns into a short, quick little video. Pretty cool. Friday's Curated MTG again, a new one. Speaking of, what was your Curated MTG from Monday this week?
I don't remember.
The Rashad.
I just posted.
Yeah,
today.
Isn't it the sacrificing? You tap when it comes into play. You have the cut purse one. Guy.
No, Rashad Brigand.
Yeah.
Brigand. This is my second beer. Yeah, so it's a pirate that comes into play, and then all of your opponents have to sacrifice something unless they pay 3 mana. And then there's like Footpad and Cut Purse, and those are all really cool cards.
If you play all of them and you're having like a flicker effect type thing or bounce or not bouncing,
put it in Essex and create 8 at one time, and everybody bitch at the table. It was amazing.
No,
I loved it.
That was not amazing.
It's okay.
You should have recanted that story on that. Just been like, yeah, that should have been your only example. This is how I was a dick. That's all you need.
Maybe that's how what Curated should turn into. Yeah. It's like this is how it turned. This is how I was a dick. This card. Win.
Everybody hated me. So yeah, and then
I have no friends.
Saturday we have an open day. That's where we don't really post anything. Really, Sunday we don't really post anything either. But I've been doing Proxy Time live on Sundays, and that's when we do the drawing for Stump the Smith Savant. What else was there? I think that's it. So that's a big thing to jump onto YouTube and subscribe there because we have things going on every single day pretty much of the week. You can see other videos on there as well. But you can also follow us on Twitter. That's where you can see us posting about the videos, see us posting about other stuff. Do we post about anything else on there?
You mean like on Twitter?
Oh, Switcheroo. MTG Switcheroo.
I used to do that.
Mail Day.
Now that
Cardsphere.
I'm in the middle of moving, I'm probably not going to start that back up until
you get moved out.
November at some point.
But yeah, that's where you can also direct message us there, or you can direct message us by emailing us at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. That is everything there, right?
Sweet.
So
we are 5 minutes ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we aren't in the 20
So we have
range.
2 full ass segments along with Savant. I better get this one.
Yeah, you
Small,
better.
real quick.
I want to get us to
Yeah.
2 cards.
Break it up.
If I can find where I'm like too many damn buttons. There we go.
Oh, we're just doing. Okay. Oh, we're doing
It's time
Savant
for
right away, and then we're
everyone's
gonna do
favorite game
Cardsphere.
show, Stump the Smith Savant. Yeah, we'll do this first.
All right. Shit.
That's normally when we jump in with it anyway, so we'll do it. We'll come in right after the tags, so we can do the other stuff. All right, so if you guys don't know how this works, I am going to read the flavor of text of a card. The card is suggested from either a patron or anybody that messaged us on.
Who won this week?
This week is Steve Dale, so that is actually a patron.
Okay.
What?
Oh, no. Okay, I think I have an idea who that is.
Yeah.
I don't know the names. I just know
Their little thingies.
the thing. Yeah, I don't know Jaw's real name.
Yeah. No, it's Steve Dale.
I mean,
is
I do
on,
at
is
this
on,
point.
Yeah, Steve Dale's on the Discord. Like that's his
name
on Discord. God, you're such an ass. You don't know everybody on Discord? I'm just kidding. So what I'm going to do is read the flavor text of a card. I do have a few clues. Actually, I think all the clues come from Steve on this one. A lot of times most people have given me like 2 clues and then I give the final one, but Steve has a lot of good clues that I think it could give it away enough. So we kept them that way. So if you give 2 harder clues, I'm going to take over and at least give one easier one. So Lowery is going to get 3 he asks yes or no questions. He can get 3 clues. And if he gets anything right, he will hear this.
Hello, boobies.
If he gets something wrong, he will hear this.
Wrong.
Now, if he hears 5
only
of
get
those,
5.
if he hears 5 of those,
5?
he loses. So, all right. So here goes. Let me pull the card up. Pull the card up. Okay.
I wish you had glasses and I could potentially see the picture in the reflection.
Maybe I open my eyes enough. All right.
Nope.
This one's going to be interesting, buddy. All right.
Okay.
As
All
you
right.
make camp near the ancient ruin, you hear the sound of drums echoing in the halls where no dwarf has lived in generations. As you make camp near the ancient ruin, you hear the sound of drums echoing in the halls where no dwarf has lived in generations.
Is this Lord of the Rings?
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Is this Farthendur? Balrog took over. Okay. Okay. So, first off, I'll just say fuck. Second, all right. So, this feels like it's a passage from like a book. That's why I instantly thought Lord of the Rings. Okay, this has something to do with dwarves, which puts it in specific planes. We know Keldheim had it. Potentially Aether Revolt had dwarves. And then older sets definitely had dwarves, but hopefully it's not that long ago. Can I hear it again?
As you make camp near the ancient ruin, you hear the sound of drums echoing in the halls where no dwarf has lived in generations.
Yeah. Speak friend and enter. Okay, so you're camping and you hear a dwarven mine where there aren't any dwarves.
Do you want a clue?
Yeah, I'll take a clue.
All right. This card is in the top 10 for most reprints of any Commander legal card.
What?
That is clue number 1.
Wow. Top 10 for the most reprints. Is there like a list out there that has this, or did somebody go counting?
This card is in the top 10 for most reprints of any Commander legal card.
Bullshit. But okay. Okay. Can I rehear the flavor text?
As you make camp near the ancient ruin, you hear sounds of drums echoing in the halls where no dwarf has lived in generations.
you hear drums where I mean, the drums also potentially mean like goblins. I mean, goblins are fucking everywhere, but like, is there a spot where there's goblins?
I know, I was dealing with one yesterday with the fucking assholes.
Dwarves or
yeah, goblins, they're everywhere.
Goblins, okay. I'm assuming you're talking about your child. One of them.
You asshole, I wasn't.
This is really tough. Okay, so a ton of reprints. A ton. You're talking like over 7 or 8 reprints at this point.
Second clue might help you a little bit more.
I don't want to hear it yet. I'm still
piecing them together.
Yeah. Let's hear the second clue.
The most valuable, notable reprint came from Arabian Nights. This card is the top 10 for most reprints of any Commander legal card. The most valuable, notable reprint came from Arabian Nights.
Okay, no, I have. That's wild. That one just like totally gave it away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So is this the basic land mountain?
Hello, boobies.
You got it. Nice job. I wouldn't have gotten that. Yeah, Steve was telling me, he's like, yeah, that was the only, they weren't supposed to print, accidentally got involved. That was the only one. It wasn't none of the other basics made it in.
Yeah, so mountain is the most printed basic because of Arabian Nights, because it's the only one there. And it's like over $100 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I stopped looking at when it was like 65 and I was like, no, thank you. Basic mountain. So it's an expensive mountain now. But it's a beautiful card.
Yeah, so the flavor text, you know where that's from?
I could not. I
Adventures of the Forgotten Realm is the only time that these had flavor text. Because they're all Dungeons and Dragons like quote stuff.
Yeah, I did see that they had them. I definitely didn't read them, so that is clever as shit. Like there's
4 of them, and I chose one that would give you. So I chose the one that would maybe give you a hint to like how you went Lord of the Rings. I was like, if he thinks about it's mountains because they're in the deep and all that with the mountains, dwarves, mountains, all that stuff. And
there's no
I went through it too.
Flavor text to any other.
I started
basics,
scrolling through to see if there was anything else, and I could not find one.
Top 10 reprinting cards for Commander.
The last clue is going to be, this is one of the few mana sources currently in Standard that can come into play untapped. He had good clues. He was giving it away.
If that second one didn't give it away, I would have been super lost.
Yeah.
Maybe it was, I might have been able to work my way through like, Standard has this, but it's been reprinted a ton. So I would have had to like, yeah. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
So you did not stump Lowery. Those were good clues. Very good clues.
Yeah. Yep.
They aren't supposed to be so ridiculous that he has no chance. Those are good clues to make him like, if that was
supposed
for
to mean
me,
something.
I wouldn't have gotten that but Larry has his savant knowledge. You knew the Arabian Nights thing, and that was perfect. That is perfect for a clue. Now we're not only going to have Esper Sentinel as a potential, you can win this card, but we're adding the new Augur of Autumn as well. So we'll have 2 cards from now on that you can win each week, actually. So next week is actually, I can tell you that ahead of time too. Who do we have next week? Matt the Monarch got the one for next week. So that'll be interesting. All right. So what are we on? We're doing the, just the tips,
Just the
right?
tips.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, you're on my hair.
All right, so Cardsphere. We had a great interview last week with both the guys from Cardsphere.
To toot our own horn, we're pretty damn good at that, like having interviews and talking. I would just, of course.
Yes. Well, the thing is, we leave in all the I loved our like intros and how terrible that was, or even coming back and left it all in. Don't even make it sound professional. But it was fun. It's supposed to be a conversation, and that's kind of how our podcast is, and that's how we kind of left it with all that. So a lot of people jumped on board with Cardsphere. What you doing there, Lau? Getting hot?
It's still summer. I'm
so,
committed to the bit, though.
Yeah, I can't take this robe off. So a bunch of people, including myself, jumped on board over the last week and started trading cards. After I did my first trade, I had a lot of questions along with like Jake from the Discord was asking about stuff, and you had some good answers. So I guess.
And we had somebody on Twitter /YouTube kind of point out something about like sharks or just really low ball offers that we want to make sure that we address as well.
Yep. So why don't you hit that really, really quick? So what was
that part?
Yeah. The question was,
so
go for it.
I don't know the specific question necessarily off the top of my head, but essentially somebody was saying that there were sharks on the site at like doing really expensive cards at like 10 to 20%. Now, what I do personally is I mark cards. I keep Cardsphere as a list of cards that I want because I have so many random notes all over the place. Like I can't keep a piece of paper straight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I list my cards on Cardsphere, all of them, and then I lowball them just because I don't expect anybody to send them to me.
Right.
At that
and
point.
you don't
and
want
I don't
them
want
at that
them
70% or whatever.
Yeah, like
you
want I want certain standard cards, but I know they're going to go down, but I don't want to forget that I want them either. And so like if I want old Gnawbone, but I want it at a non-standard price, like it's $30 right now, maybe more, because I just don't look at it when it's that expensive. I would rather be doing percentages at like when it's 20 or maybe 15, but it's probably a $20 card after it rotates. And so like I know nobody's going to send it to me at like 50% value. So I just put it down to like 20%. But again, what you can do in your searches for sending, what it does is if you don't put a limit, each person that wants your card per se at whatever percentage is going to show up. And you're not going to want to send them cards at 30, 40, 50%. That you just don't want to do that. You're going to get a better value at Card Kingdom, potentially, you know, your LGS. Like it depends on, you got to know where you're getting your values from. So that does matter.
So, and I'll jump on what the person's comment was on YouTube was, and this happened to me, is I started putting cards on there, and then I look and I'm like, oh yeah, I can send a $45, $50 an order, and I'm like, sweet. And I could have just gone click yes, I'll send it because it's whatever, getting money. But then I I was looking at it and I'm like, those cards are a lot more expensive than that. And I was looking and I was like, the total order, which is kind of nice. It tells you what the total order average percentage is. It was at 45%.
Yeah.
So I think that's what one of the comments was, especially for new people to the site, to not go for the money, not look at the money. Yes, what you're trading, but
the size of the trade,
at what you're getting for the whole percentage. And then you kind of mentioned on Discord when other people had questions, you mark yours at like minimum 60% for trade or something like that.
Yeah. So there are basically anything where those guys were saying like, oh, you won't get ripped off type thing. You can set those limits. And so I don't see any cards below 65%. So if somebody's like, I want a Tundra, but I'm only willing to pay 30%, I don't even see it. Yeah. I obviously don't have Tundra up there anyway, but trying to prove a point. Like I only see cards that people want that I have at a 65% or higher. And so there's a lot of people that want a lot of different things, and I expect people to send me cards within 70 to 80% range, and those 65%ers I don't really send to.
Yeah.
Like but sometimes there's a card that gets added into a bigger package, and so generally So there's a lot of different factors. And when on the Discord, I kind of went through a bunch of them. But the general sense is if I'm sending a package, I want at least 70%.
Yeah.
And so it can have cards that have like 65, 60, 55, whatever you're comfortable with. I would suggest not going under 60% easily, especially if you're new to this.
If you do a trade that you already have, like, let's say some $10, $15 worth of cards that are at 70, 80%, and you look at what else they have, maybe you have some like 25-cent cards that they're going to take for 50%. Would you throw those in there?
Yeah. I personally don't take the time to look through somebody's profile to look for those smaller cards.
Okay.
Because I don't list them. So that's another thing that I didn't talk about on the Discord. My trades are in essentially 2 single row like boxes. So it's, around 2,000 cards. I have that completely separate from my other collection that I look through.
That's what I started to do, is like have an actual, this is my Cardsphere stuff. This is, I have my for sale stuff in the safe, but I have my Cardsphere. I just started a new box of things that I was putting, anything I put on the site.
So separate it, because the thing that can really happen is if you are pulling cards from it all the time, you're like, oh, I want it for this deck, I want it for this deck, then you didn't really want to trade it. Right? You're kind of just like up in the air. But when you commit and then you're always canceling and you're looking for it and you're wasting time.
Right.
And so just have it off to the separate, know that you want to trade it and know where the cards are. I don't have it alphabetized, but I have it by color.
That's what I was going to do, by color.
I have color and by type and stuff like that. So that is definitely one thing that I highly suggest, is make sure that you have just a trade section. You don't go through it. And if you do want to end up using it for a deck, then make sure you go right on the Cardsphere and take it off your halves. Update what you have. And that was one problem that I had with Card Kingdom back in the summer, is I sent out 150 cards from Card Kingdom to Card Kingdom and never updated my Cardsphere. And I was getting a little bit of trouble. Like, I was getting sloppy. I was like, I think I got that. And I think I got that. And it just makes so much more work. Make it clean, separate, know what you have in there, and just keep it separate from what your actual playing cards are, what your selling cards are. Highly suggest that.
So a couple other questions is, do you have are there cards is it even worth putting commons and uncommons even on there? Like, I mean, uncommons, yeah, some of them are worth a little bit more, but some of those 5-cent commons, it's not even worth really entering that crap in, right? I mean, you should.
In my opinion, no.
Okay.
Again, there what they were talking about last week, there are just so many reasons why people use Cardsphere. And for me, I'm looking for value. I'm not looking, I'm not necessarily doing it out of the generosity of my heart. I'm just trying to play this game for cheaper.
Right.
And so, I think it's a good idea, which I don't do, but it's a good idea to be like, okay, I got this package together. I could add 1 or 2 cards. Let's go through and see if they have some really cheap cards, and I can just toss it on there. That's perfectly fine to do, but you still, your time is valuable. You don't want to just be putting in a ton of 25-cent cards
that you got to search for 3 hours to find them all.
Yeah. Like they're just, it's not worth, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. So for me personally, I do anything where, if it's $1 or more, that's what I put on.
Okay.
Cause I'm keeping an eye on it. Like, I know they're kind of specs and they're starting to creep up. Sometimes I put those on there, which are cheaper than $1, because I probably spec'd on it. There's a mirror with, in fact, when it attacks, it gets +2/+2. And I have fucking 25, 30 of them, because I just picked them up super cheap. But they're just under $1. They might have crept up over at this point, but they were 80 cents forever. I'm just once they hit $1, I just want to move them.
Yeah.
And so I have them there, keeping an eye on them as well. So again, so many different reasons to use Cardsphere. Some of the things that I listed there, and these are all different percentages, but There's specs. There's standard cards. There's cards that I want for decks. There's just random cards that I want. There's reserve list cards on there that I never expect to get. And they're all different percentages.
Mm-hmm.
And we can get specific on that.
Yeah. So what percentage, like for specs, like something that you're maybe something that came out of the new set or in last year, do you go higher with your percentage at that point to try to get them or no? Okay. What do you,
if it's in standard, I just use it as a list. And then I'm paying attention to it.
What if it's a special set that you like? Let's say MH2, Modern Horizons 2 of cards.
I'm more
there.
aggressive with that.
Okay,
yeah.
So you'll go higher. What is typically around when you're getting more aggressive? What percentage you get up to?
So if I'm being, what I have noticed is people are willing to send you cards in the 70 percentile, and they like to send it to you if you're in the 80 percentile. And if you're in the 90 percentile, that's like, you're going to get that pretty quick. I've been, unless it's really hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's a difference between high value cards like the inventions. Like you probably can get something in the 90 percentile, close to 100. And probably get that relatively quick, but if you're going for like 100% on an old reserve list, Tundra, dual land card.
As I was going to ask you, what did you
less
get?
likely to get that.
When you got your dual from it, what was the percent? Do you remember what you had that at?
I'm pretty sure I put it in 100.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like I didn't expect it though either.
Right.
Because I've been trading long enough to know that people don't just send you fucking duals.
Right.
Like I've had to overtrade for duals at I'm trading them at 130% versus my getting back, the 100%. So I'm over trading by 30% to just get duals, even though I'm sending like legacy modern staples.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I can look back at those trades and I can go like, it's still even value, but I got, the duals that I wanted, but they weren't getting gypped.
Right. Okay, so I don't want this to go super, super long because we got a long episode to do here. But okay, so basically for sending or for asking for cards, you're around that 70% range, 65, 70% if it's in standard kind of stuff.
If it's in standard and I don't need it for a deck, I put it in the 60s.
Okay.
Because I expect the cards to go down.
Yep.
Unless you're going for really cheap cards, like if you're going for a standard card that is $3 or under, just put it at whatever you're comfortable with. Like 70s is fine. Like the cards will fluctuate, but stay around that until like it's in standard. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? If it's really expensive, then you have the potential that it's going to drop 30%.
Okay, so we got
50%.
65% to 70% for standard-ish cards. Speccing cards, things that you think are going to go up pretty quick. Not necessarily standard, just cards in general. You get up in the 80. You get a little more aggressive with that 85 or higher range, and then like your dual land, you get 100%. You got to put that all out there for it.
And especially if it really depends on how aggressive you want to be on your specs. If you're being passive on it, then I put in the 75s to get some, not get them all. But also what Cardsphere wants can do is allow you to just like, okay, I'm buying. I know I have a list of cards I want to buy. I did that. Let's go check out our Cardsphere. What's something that I'm willing to buy off that? And then you're able to just kind of check that off. Like it's nice in that way. But so there, yeah. Yeah.
I got you. I got you. No, this is a lot of good information. Like that.
For new people, be slow.
Yes. Oh, that was a very good point you had mentioned to me before.
Learn how things feel. Cause like you might be like, oh, 50% ain't bad, but you're just going to be losing a ton of value.
If you think about it, you're normally, if most of the trades happen in that 70, 75% range and you're trading away 50%, Well, you're losing 20% right there just because your value of what you're trading away.
And again, like it depends on what you're sending. Like I was saying, I'm in the dollar range, and I don't send much above $10.
Okay.
Because we kind of had that rule, like keep one of everything.
Yeah.
And I have found that to be a really good rule for me, so that like there's been a couple times in the past where we didn't have that rule, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna use Gitaxias because it's just a fucking awful card. And then like 3 years later, I'm like, fuck, there's a $15 card.
Yeah.
I really want it for this deck.
Son of a bitch.
I should have just kept it. Or Skittles, like there are just cards where I'm just like, I shouldn't have sent them. I knew that I wouldn't want to play them, but they kind of fit somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I highly suggest just at least keeping one of everything, which I understand that my collections are kind of bigger when it comes, because this is how I've always traded.
You just like walk right into the.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Fine.
Collections are bigger.
I'm
along
just
with
like, I understand that not everybody's going to be there, but that's part of being slow. And so like also find the range that you're comfortable with. It might not be in that 70 range. It might be in that 80 range. It might be in the 60 range. Like it depends on where you are. Cause a lot of the stuff like that I'm sending, I'm not, if it's silly to buy a card for $2 and then trade it for $2. You're not getting any value off that. So we've been speccing for years. And so a lot of this stuff is coming to fruition, and I'm able to send out, a card that I bought 20 at 20 cents for. I can send those out for 60% because I know I can move a ton of them.
And you're getting more back from what you spent on it.
Yeah. And so like if I'm sending a $3 card, but only at 60%, and I bought it at 20%, I'm gaining 280 in value multiple times within that. So I'm more willing to play with that. But if all you're doing is buying packs, it's not super efficient. So I would be a lot tighter in my value and what I send to and be more picky with. And so a lot of it kind of just depends on what your situation is. And again, like if you're just fucking, throwing shit around and you don't care, then don't care. I still would suggest not sending below 60%, but
right,
you can do whatever you want.
No, this is and it makes sense when we started that dollar to duels thing. I mean, this is it almost is better in a way for specs, because with selling on eBay, I'm getting cash for it, but I put it up for sale. I have to wait for somebody to fucking buy it. Like it doesn't happen. Where this, you still have to wait for somebody that wants it. But for the most part, it seems like when you put a card on, people want it. It's on there.
Yeah.
It just depends on the percentage wise of how much. And like you said, if you bought a card for 25 cents and it's now $3, and you bought 50 of them, and there's people that are wanting only like 50% or 60%, hell yeah, you'll do it. You freaking made a ton of money off of that.
Yeah.
And you can move it right then and there,
So a couple other tips that kind of came up in the Discord that I want to make sure that I mention. So one thing that you can do is when you're wanting a card and you're not sure what percentage you want it at, and I'm saying like, 75, 85, or 65, one thing that you can do is go and look at the current like top 10
what the top 10
bids.
Of what people want for that, right?
And so if you're
and there's
wanting
a
the card,
previous one, right? Like that's what I was doing.
And we can do that, and that sets expectations. But what you can do is you kind of look, you can down at the bottom of the page, it says top 10 offers, and you can go and check and be like, okay, am I comfortable with that number? Do I want to be that 1% higher to make sure that I'm first on the list to send to? And so last week they were talking about TCG is like race to the bottom.
This
is potentially a race to the top. Make sure that
Yeah.
you're on top of the list. Make sure, and if that's something that you want, something right now, then you can kind of do that. The other thing I would suggest is if you want it right now, you don't have to Cardsphere it. If you really like, if you know that this new set has this new card that is highly undervalued, just go buy as much as you fucking want of it to spec on it. You know, you
then go to Cardsphere and trade it back to people when it goes up.
That's later on. And so, you know, trading, there are those protections on spikes. And so like, if you expect to be able to trade on spikes, more likely you're not going to, because people have percentage protections, but eventually things kind of like even out. You're going to get a better value out of it as well. But so one thing, like I was talking about, look at the top 10 offers that's at the bottom of the page. And then on the other tab is last time that it was sent. And they'll give you the what it was sent for $1 wise and the date. And that'll help you get expectations on how often the card is sent. You know, like my Bayou from a year and a half ago is probably still on the list, maybe towards the bottom of the top 10, you know,
you
last time.
Want to look at this.
But it's more than likely that'll help set expectations of like, oh shit, this card comes out like twice a week, 3 times a week. I should be able to get this pretty easy. Or the last time this card was sent was 4 months ago. I'm probably going to have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
And so that will help you with expectations depending on what you're wanting in cards. Another thing that is you'll easily notice this is new sets are fucking hot. People want to move them. And this is kind of what we've talked about. Like at the beginning, when set releases, that first 2 weeks, card prices are at their highest. And we've talked about this multiple times. So if you're trying to get in on sets those first like 2 weeks, the prices on most, like 90% of the cards are inflated. And if you have a high percentage, you're just going to get every fucking card.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're patient enough and you want to wait that month or so, you still get a lot of action. You'll get a more appropriate price. So like a lot of this comes, a lot of this comes from experience, and a lot of this comes from like, we've talked about this, other finance people, I'm sure talk about this ?
I haven't heard people talk about Cardsphere as much with
maybe
stuff,
but not necessarily
But you're
Cardsphere,
saying
but it's
with,
just like the
with
attitude of understanding how card prices react.
Right.
You know, like if I was trying to get Chatterfang from MH2 right out the box, I would have been spending $20 to $30 on it. And I got it for $12.
Yeah.
And it's $7 right now. And so even I waiting a month still lost some value. But if you're super aggressive on new sets coming out on those premium cards, more than likely you're wrong.
Yeah. You don't get a smothering tithe every set. That doesn't happen like that. So
absolutely. Yeah. Like if you caught on to like Urza High Lord Master, like that was like a $15 card when it was being pre-released.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some people that jumped on that. It was like, great. But it's a fucking like what, $40 card now? They did really well. But there's like maybe 3 a year that happen on that, like over every set.
Or you do like we did and buy into what's his nuts. That demon with the surveil that we really like, but
Doom Whisperer.
Dune Whisperer, yeah. Bought a bunch of those. I bought foils of those at 30 and non-foils at 15, and I think the foils now are like 10.
And so a lot of this comes in with philosophy of how you want to spec or trying to just make sure that you're squeezing your value out of this, but it takes experience. And I know like we haven't sat down and just be like, what is everything that we consider, because it's a fucking huge list.
Mm-hmm.
When and it can always change, and there's nothing like 100% the same every time. You know, every spec has something that's different about it. And some people just stick with what they have too. And that can work. Like I'm sure Fast Finance looks at certain things every time.
Mm-hmm.
But they could be missing out on other things. Like I'm not a high roller like those guys. And so I need to go through, and me personally, I find the cheap ass cards that I think are going to get somewhere in between $2 and $5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the philosophy that I have is like, I understand that I'm not going to get the all nod bones that are probably just going to be fucking insane. Like the full art, alt bordered foils are probably going to be like $100, $200 in the future. But
Yeah.
I'm just not willing to spend, like $50 on it now.
Yeah, for sure.
And so,
and it's a different, you're trading, you're almost doing like the penny slots and banking out on that. You're getting stuff for cheap. I think because of me and it's easier with you with the trading stuff. That's a lot easier to go that route. The selling part, I think I've changed with that. So I'm kind of happy to have this Cardsphere stuff because I can get rid of the stuff. I don't like selling stuff for under $10 at this point. Like, it's almost more of a waste of my time. Whereas before I was happy to sell. If I was making a profit off of it or whatever, I would send something that's $3. Now it's like, that's such a waste of time and materials and just whatever. It has to be over 10.
That comes from, I don't know. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Oh, I deserve it. All right.
Oh, good.
You had to look at your board to make sure you were pressing the right button.
Yeah, well, and nerd blows out everything.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of that one. So, like, things change as you're going through. Like, you wouldn't advise to send anything under $10 on eBay, but there's plenty of people that do and can and need to make money.
Right.
But at the point where you're at, you would be like, I don't think that's a good idea. And that's the same thing for me. Like, me personally, I think this is Cardsphere, in my opinion, is a niche, just like selling cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I very rarely send out something that's over $10.
Right.
My packages are a bit bigger, but
oh yeah.
Who am I?
Oh crap! I was at the wrong thing. I was trying to do.
Who am I?
I was trying to do.
Cool story, bro. Oh, good for you.
And
your
so,
packages are a lot bigger, Lowery. You're a lucky bastard.
Only recently. And so, like, again, like, we're getting into philosophy versus like, why are you using Cardsphere? So maybe people aren't comfortable selling on eBay or TCG like me, but then I end up just like sitting on a ton of cards. Like, I have a small box that I'm like, I should get rid of these. I should definitely sell these, but I don't. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's like, it's like that amount of cards.
Wait, this is
like,
isn't that 10 inches, right? That's size, right?
No, that might be 10 inches.
I have a 10-inch penis. All right, like.
Yes.
That's for the YouTubers right there.
Yes. That is definitely
what I'll say is this is kind of filling in that gap for me, at least, because like I said, I've been gradually not sell. I still have things that are listed under $10, but now when I see them and I'm like, I fucking still have that listed, son of a bitch. Like, it's just, but things that are under 10, the difference is I put it on Cardsphere. That's not the only card I'm sending out typically. At least that's the plan. Yeah. I'm sending that in a package. I know you're not comfortable with 10, but for me personally, because I'm used to the eBay stuff, I'm probably looking for higher amounts to send out a bigger package, like your bigger package, like we talked about earlier. So that's going to work out nice because I can get rid of multiple cards that are under $10 and move them right away, Yep. So
I mean, it depends on what value you're getting the cards at what you want to be sending. Like, it's okay to do a 1-for-1 ratio and just making sure that you're getting cards that you want as well. But just make sure that you're consciously doing these things instead of just going like, ooh, big package, let's send this. Like, make sure that you have like a plan. Cause I don't want to have anybody screwed. And so, like, last week I'm when I listened to it, I was like, I kept on saying like, I've just been always happy with Cardsphere. It's super easy, super simple. But I've been trading for 10 years plus. Like a lot of this stuff comes fairly naturally to me, and I just go like, I know what I'm doing, I know what I want, and that's not necessarily true for everyone. And so if you have questions, I am more than willing to answer them on Twitter, on Discord, wherever you want to get a hold of us, on email.
Very helpful. I mean, I have a freaking huge sheet of your answer somewhere over there. I printed it off because you had a lot of good good tips for everybody.
I'm more than willing to help you because I want Cardsphere to be successful because it's an amazing program and
just so you guys know, it's we're not sponsored by Cardsphere. This is just
they didn't turn around and be like, we're gonna slide you some money.
Yeah, there is no sponsorship.
No, they haven't talked to us since. That's the difference. That's where we're at. We were a one night recording, on Twitter for some reason. I feel violated, and
it's not like we were looking for a sponsor at all. That's not even.
No, we weren't.
Just how because we know we're not going to get. It's gonna be very hard for somebody to sponsor our show. We keep growing, but the thing is our humor is not something that people want to.
We understand this. We understand this.
But it allows us to do how we do things. So that's kind of what it is.
We get to do what we want.
Yeah, exactly. But we get that to go with it is, Cardsphere is just a good thing. The reason we're talking about it isn't because we're promoted by them, we're sponsored or anything by them. Yep. It's just they're a good site to use, and I'm finding that very nice. I've only been doing it for a week and a half, but I like it. I like what I'm now trying to transition into doing that more. Yeah. And you've been doing it basically for 3 years now at this point.
3.5 years, easily.
Yeah. So, we're an hour.
Let's do this. All right.
Do you want to run through these?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So we're going to do this. This is going to wait. You have to do this properly.
Who am I? Who am I?
Your commander.
What do you want to do first?
But a bitch ain't what?
You're garbage! You sick old woman! Muff garbage! Muff garbage!
All right. So if you guys don't know how this works, we are reading the card and we are going to decide our opinion if the card is worthy enough to be a
commander,
or maybe it fits in the
99,
or maybe it's just straight up
muff garbage.
And we're going to kind of burn through this since we're already at an hour. So why don't we get started?
We're going to give you our opinions.
Yes. All right. I guess I'll start. Adeline Resplendent Cathar. This is 2 white, 1 colorless, vigilance, star 4. Wait. Its power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 human creature token that is tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. I think this thing is fucking
commander.
Awesome. That's a great commander. Don't you think so? You gotta say words.
Oh, it's powerful. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily put it at commander, but it's a fucking bomb at
definitely
99.
99.
Yeah, it's definitely 99. But
because commander wise, do you use Brimaz as a commander?
Which one's
Brimaz? Almost the same fucking card. It's a 3/4 vigilance for the same CMC. Yeah. When it attacks, you get a 1/1 cat that's attacking, and this is creating 3, but same vein.
But right away,
this card seems better.
This turns into a 3/4 at least. No, it turns into a 4/4 right away. Is it for each other? It's a number of creatures you control. So right away,
each other.
It's equal to the number of creatures you control. So
it's always a 1/4.
Yes, and then when you attack, if you have 3 other opponents, it's me a 4/4. It has vigilance, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. 3 mana is aggressive.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't think it's interesting enough to make a deck around.
Right, it'd be pretty straightforward. I guess that's the other point of thinking about, God, we're spending a lot of time on just the first card.
All right. I
would say really quick, what do you think about the black and white art? I think it looks pretty sweet.
I like it. It looks at least good digitally.
I would say 90% of the ones I've seen are good. There's a couple of them I'm like, I'd rather have the original one, but this one I especially like. All right, next one, Larry.
Denick, Pious Apprentice, blue, or I guess white, blue, human soldier, 2/3, lifelink. Cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities. And then it has Disturb.
Oh, I should have had a Disturb button.
Yeah, I was waiting for you. I was hoping for it.
Damn it, I didn't even think.
And then when you disturb a card, it comes flipped. And I guess I got to click on it and flip it. Flip the card image.
So it's
Flip
cast
side
from your
is
graveyard, transformed as
two
this.
colorless, white, blue. And then that's how you flip the card from your graveyard. And the flip side is it is a flying 3/2. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into graveyards from anywhere, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. If Denick, Pious Apprentice would be put into the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Does that happen for most of the cards? Where like when they are flipped and die?
Yeah, when they're exiled. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Best spot for this, I think, is in the
99.
It can be a commander. I think that's what we should really figure out is, yes, cards can all be a commander. So I think back to Adeline, that one is probably, you're probably right, it's probably better in the
99.
But it definitely could be a commander. All these can be.
Yeah.
My opinion, I guess, with this one is more on the 99 with this one. Don't you think so? Or where are you at?
Yeah. I think this is more of like, I feel like sideboard type cards are more 99 rather than commander, because you never know if somebody's going to be targeting your graveyard. And this deck, or this card, like this deck would kind of like depend on it.
Yeah. And you would have to depend on this going to your graveyard.
Yeah, to flip it if you want to investigate, which just isn't enough. So like it's a good value card, it's a decent protection card, like maybe.
Yeah.
And so like I think it's an interesting 99 spot. I don't think it really does anything as a commander.
Yep. All right. So Florian Voldarin, you get that button ready so when I'm reading stuff. Scion. This is a black, a red, and a colorless for a
Can't even read.
A little late. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We post-production that.
Vampire Noble. It is a 3/3 with first strike. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the total amount of life your opponents lost this turn. Exile one of those cards and put the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. You may play that exiled card. You may play exiled cards this turn. So it's not saying that card necessarily, any exiled cards that turn. That's interesting. The wording
like
on that makes it seem like you can play any exile card. Exile one of those cards and put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order.
Yep.
You may play exiled cards this turn. Huh. Because I was just thinking it was that card, but this seems kind of cool, actually. Would you build an exiled card deck around this?
I mean, there's already an exiled card deck in last sets.
Oh, was there? What is it? From Adventures of the Forgotten Realm?
Yeah, from the Commander set. It's like whenever you play a card from exile, you get to create a treasure and prosper. It's prosper.
Yeah.
So Florian is kind of like in that realm. They both work together. So this can totally be a commander, and it can be a good value card in red black 99. I'm more likely to put this in the 99.
That's where I was.
99.
I was like, you put this in a vampire deck with your Edgar Markov. This doesn't take the place of Edgar. This just goes in that deck.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, the next one I really like, Lowery.
Yeah, me too, right? I'm
really
surprised
like
it's only $3 on Card Kingdom. Not sponsored, motherfuckers. I'm drinking, sorry. Okay. Gissa, Glorious Resurrector, 2 colorless, 2 black, legendary creature, human wizard, of course, legend. 4/4. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead, which is awesome for just like creature control shenanigans. Like it kind of shuts down Yawgmoth a little bit. I At the beginning of your upkeep, put all creature cards exiled with Gissa onto the battlefield under your control. They gain decay.
This is just crazy because it's
Yeah.
like
Hold
most
on,
of the time.
Let's talk about decay a little bit. It's kind of like a theme on the set
okay.
too. Decay is a creature with decay, can't block, and when it attacks, sacrifice it at the end of combat.
So that's kind of, but the thing is what this is doing. You're playing a commander game. Most creatures have a tap ability, or they're doing something. They're not just a 2/2 bear, like they are doing something. And the fact that you get to take, you not only exile when their creatures die, but then you take it and it just has decay on it. That's freaking insane. This is a really good card.
Hold on. Okay, so I think what kind of happens here is you're exiling those creatures and then they come back. So you're not creating tokens.
Beginning your upkeep, put all creature cards exiled with it. Yeah, onto the battlefield under control. They gain decay. That's a good point.
Yeah, so maybe it doesn't matter if they're exiled because once you attack, you got to sacrifice them, and then those cards go into the graveyard.
Yep, they'll go into their graveyard.
I mean, it's still good. You're going to get those ETB effects. Yeah. You're going to get
they have tap triggers if they do anything, as a creature.
People are playing good cards, and you're taking their good cards when they die.
Yeah.
And so I think the card is
Commander.
super sweet.
Oh, yeah. Would it be better as a commander, or this would just be in every black deck almost?
A little bit of both. I think this is, I was in the Exile Discord, and they said this is like a tamed down T-Grid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a fair point, and that makes me like this a lot more because it's not just like totally fucking winning the game off of everybody sacrifice stuff or everybody discards their hand. Like, this card seems fair. You get an army for a turn. Like, if you can make Gissa like indestructible and then Wrath, it's still a good game, but you might not like win it outright at that point.
Right.
So I like it. The creatures can't block. Like, totally seems fair. 99 for me. This is something that I would build.
Mm-hmm. All right. Jadar, Ghoul Caller of Nephilia. This is one colorless, one black human wizard. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. And it is, I did say 1/1. I would say this is probably a 99 in a deck where you're wanting to sacrifice creatures or make tokens and all that stuff. So, because you're getting a token at the beginning of your end step, so you're going to get one at the end of your turn. And I wouldn't put this in a Decayed deck because you want to get that creature token each turn. So
Yep. So this is a 99 in my opinion. Can fit into a lot of different decks. And like if you're looking to just be able to sacrifice a creature or just gaining like tokens, if you have token doublers, that could be good.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool card. And all you have to do is like attack with the Decayed. It's gone at the end of
that's a good point.
Combat. And then you get another token.
Get another one. Yeah, that's a really good point. All right. Another mythic here. Did we even hit a mythic yet?
Mythic? I don't know. All right.
No, this is our first mythic.
Jaren, Corrupted Bishop. 2 colorless black, 2/3. I'm not sure if I like this one. All right. Whenever Jared Corrupted Bishop enters the battlefield, or another non-token, or enters the battlefield, or another non-token human you control dies, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 white human creature token. And then you can pay 2 mana. Target human you control gains lifelink until end of turn. It is a human, so, At the beginning of your end step, if you have exactly 13 life, you may pay 4 colorless, 2 black, and you can transform it. Transform side is a 6/6 flying trample lifelink, sacrifice another creature, draw a card.
Oh, I guess I'm
commander.
you think hey, there's a lot going on whenever it enters battlefield or another non-token. Yeah, because you're building a human deck.
It's a black human
deck. I guess there's a lot of them because it's humans.
Fine, let's just do it. This mythic is fucking garbage.
Muff garbage!
Let's just do it.
People
I
are
don't
gonna
think
get
this
mad
goes
about
in unless you're building a human-specific deck, which happens. But there's a lot of fucking hoops. How do we transform this shit?
You got to have
Putting
exactly 13 life
exactly
at the
13
end, and then you transform it. It doesn't transform into something that's.
And then you got to pay 6. There's too many hoops. Too many hoops.
And
Let's
what is it
burst a bunch of fucking bubbles. This is too many hoops. You're not going to flip that demon. That demon has no protection.
No, it's just flying, trample, lifelink,
which is
you
good.
can draw for sacrificing creatures that you made.
Yeah. Which is going to be human, which makes you.
But you got to get exactly
murderer.
13 life. No,
Yeah,
no,
that's-
yep.
Muff garbage!
Too much work.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you got to pay like 2 to gain life and.
Yep. Nope. Because it's only target human you control gains.
Yeah,
life
I mean,
link,
so let's say that you're below 13 life, and then you give X amount of humans life link to attack them and gain up to 13 life, and then another 6 to
we're
flip
breaking this
it.
down. We're breaking too much for a muff garbage.
All right. Yep.
All right,
we just want to prove it. We just want to prove that it's muff garbage.
Catilda Dawnheart Prime is white and a green for a human warlock 1/1. Has protection from werewolves. Human creatures you control have tap to add 1 mana of any of this creature's colors. You can tap 4 and a green and a white, and tap and put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. I like this one. I don't know if I'd play a deck around it, but I think it's good enough for
99.
I mean, at the very least, this is a mono rock, that gives you either green or white. And humans is the biggest or the most, it's the most common creature type.
Yeah.
And so most likely you have some other stuff that goes along with it. I guess you could see playing this with a human deck, but would you just?
Yeah, I mean, it's a ramp
do?
deck a bit.
Yeah. But
You can do whatever you fucking want. That's what humans do. We adapt and overcome. Orica.
Do we?
Do we?
I think we just go into everything's not real and it doesn't work. and
Everything
it's-
is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part
Thank
of
you
a
for
team.
making sure that I didn't get all political there. Or it's not supposed to be political.
We're
but
not.
whatever.
We're not. Okay.
No, I'm just-
okay.
yeah.
So I think. Is this good enough to be in the 99? Like,
I think
if
it's a
you,
good
If you
99.
have a sub-human theme, that's fine. I'm not
But-
calling human sub anything. I'm just.
But wait
we
on
got
that though. I mean,
superiority
think of this.
complexes.
It has protection from werewolves.
Oh shit! Really? That's like it
For
doesn't count.
two,
It doesn't
dude.
matter.
Protection. I could say protection from Gandalf's, and it'd be about the same thing. But the itself is a tapping to add for mana, 2 color. But then it also can pump your whole team. It's not just
Sure.
telling to turn; it's
Sure.
counters. I think this is definitely a 99.
When you have what is Shalai? Shalai is like the same ability there. How often are you doing that?
I gotta
Like
play
pumping
white
your
and
whole
green.
team, 1/1 and green. Shalai is going to be played a lot more than this, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Where you're giving everything hexproof and still being able to pump.
For sure.
This, you're able to feed into it. So, like, I think it's at a weird place. I think you could build with it. I think you can put it in the 99.
If you're playing,
But I'm not in love with either of those options all the time, though, either.
but it's a mono rock there and has protection. It's saving itself from wolves.
Rocks can tap right away.
Yeah,
Keep
that's a good
saying
point.
that like
Yeah.
it means something.
Something I
It's-
do like is the next
It's
card.
fine. We're not even getting a grade there. Did you? Do
I
Commander?
did this.
99.
I said
All right,
99 right
That's
away.
fine enough. All right. Lear, Disciple of the Drowned, is like, can you put Game of Thrones on there?
Burr,
The Drowned
burr,
God?
burr, burr, burr. What?
No, the Drowned God, Disciple of the Drowned. That's
What? I don't know.
What?
The Drowned God? Which one's the Drowned God?
That's where
Game of
like
Thrones?
the Greyjoys are from.
Oh, they're island, you're saying?
Yeah. Well, their gods are the drown gods, where they fucking drown you and you come back.
I thought they burned everybody on that fucking island.
No, that was somebody else.
Just gonna drink beer.
Next week's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Lear, 3 colorless, blue, 3/4 human wizard. Spells can't be countered. Not only
For that player,
your spells,
every. I know it's really
can't
weird
be
that a blue
countered.
card is like, hey, we're just gonna make it so you're a blue player and you can't counter anything
Yes,
either.
that's the great thing. It nerfs itself. You
Yeah,
can't
I
just
like
like
that.
flashback.
I know,
It's
that's
not
why I
going
like
into a
this
counterspell deck. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I do
Okay.
too.
There's another paragraph on it. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. The flashback cost is equal to the card's mana cost. I fucking love this card.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'm
love
at
it.
a 99. I don't want this as my commander, but I want this in every blue deck, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Anything that has a slight, this goes in your Niv Mizzet Perun deck for
Mhm.
sure. This goes in my
yeah.
Calamax deck.
Yeah, I mean, you could play it as your it's just better in the
You could.
99. This is better in the 99.
Well, but I mean, I don't know if it's better, but it's something different, and it's definitely should be going in a lot of decks.
yeah.
Super cool.
Yep. All right, Liza Forgotten Archangel, 2 white, black angel, flying lifelink, 4/5. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. If a creature an opponent controls dies, exile it instead. I can see this, you doing some shenanigans with this, you
Yeah,
know,
they fucked
sacrificing your stuff.
They
and
fucked me.
yeah.
This is my
ETB
Rian deck.
effects
This is
and
what
bring
Rian
stuff.
does.
Yeah.
But only that's 3 color. Okay, so Rian is whenever you have a multicolored creature die, it comes back into your hand at end of turn. This is any creature you control die goes back into your hand.
Non-token though.
Yeah, same difference. Same difference.
Bring that token.
You
to
can't
your
bring
hand. Cast it.
exiled tokens back. You can't do that. And then this is whenever a creature an opponent that is exiled when that dies. This Rian has nothing to do. It gives your multicolored creatures +1/+0. Like
Yeah, it killed
that card's
deck.
so much harder. Yeah, what? Like I feel bad.
This is totally
Like this is so
Commander.
much better.
Lord
Lifelink? Lifelink? Jesus.
Why
Commander,
don't you get
I think
to
there's
our-
99. I think it's an awesome
yeah,
card.
but I think it's just in the best spot as Commander because you definitely.
probably.
But yes, 99 for sure.
Apparently.
Yep.
I'm just being fucking bitter.
Now the next one, I don't. This one, go ahead.
This is a flip card too?
Yeah, it is. You
Okay,
get all.
Ludwig, Necrogenesis, blue, black, 2/3, human wizard. We know Ludwig. He's a good guy, or he's been around. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, mill 1 card. I don't know why there's an H in there. Okay, X ability.
What are you talking about?
X. Wait, there's an H in there though. But X, blue, black. So 4 plus whatever X is. Exile X creature cards from your graveyard.
Oh, this is so
Transform Ludwig X. Can't P0. Activate only as a sorcery. God, there's a lot of fucking. Is this even worth it? I didn't read this.
No,
backside.
this is
Okay.
This is
We'll
so
say
muff
it's
garbage.
We'll just say it's muff garbage. I'm not
You
even gonna read this backside.
Yeah, no,
I'm too
it's
bored.
just-
I don't.
It's not good. Like its
Look at that-
flippability
just
is
that
just
front side.
terrible.
Attacks
It become-
with ETBs milled 1 card. Why?
Yeah.
Why do I?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
stupid.
I should
That's
probably
stupid.
read it at least. But you can move on. I'm just gonna.
Old sticky fingers.
I was hoping you were gonna do that.
Green Black X horror, not a horror, a horror. When this is cast, or when you cast a spell, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your graveyard, then put the rest on the bottom in random order. Old sticky fingers. Power and toughness are equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. There isn't enough other things going on with this card. I'm not that big of a fan on this. Everybody had all the memes and all that stuff going on. I don't really like this card because you're going to build a commander deck around throwing creatures in your graveyard, and then this just gets chump blocked. Like, or I guess you could have filth and, well, what's the green one that would filth go into your graveyard? So it gets evasiveness.
Filth and
but
brawn
isn't going to really help. I mean, I guess it gives you trample, so that does help.
I think it's super easy because like later on in the game, you could just pay black-green for as many creatures are in your graveyard. It's huge. Can be huge. I think
chump block. It gets chump block. So unless you have a lot of evasiveness, I guess that's how you could build it.
Or just like, because you can also just like
do equipment,
board wipe, equip, give it haste, and attack somebody for 8 to 12. Pretty easy.
I guess
I think it's a great mill card.
Let's put it this way. This doesn't fit in the 99. The only place I feel like this fits is being the commander because you build a deck around this. You think
Disagree.
it's
it mills a shit ton. What? That's what you want to be when you're building this deck. Like,
but
do you know the card Hermit Crab?
Yeah,
or not
Hermit Crab.
Hermit Druid. Hermit Druid. I'm a Hermit Crab. Hermit Druid. Like,
what deck are you building though? I mean, I guess unless you're playing a land
this
recursion
is fantastic
deck.
In Muldrotha.
Ugh.
What do you mean? Ugh. I would probably rather have this than Lord of Extinction.
I would put this as a commander.
Maybe
if anything,
and
if it's not in the commander, I go down to that because I don't like it.
No, it's definitely not muff garbage. I think it's a fantastic mill card, self mill card. Maybe one of the best there is.
Oh,
and so
it's not in
for self mill
where's the blue for self mill? You normally need the blue. Yes, you do need the blue.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do need the blue. You need the blue. It's green and black.
No.
It doesn't fit in the right colors for self-mill. I can see. That's why I was thinking, like, if you built a deck around this being the commander where your creatures are like flashback or whatever, all your stuff comes back from the graveyard. Yeah, this seems decent, but
whatever. Let's move on. I'm right. You're wrong. That's
fine. Lowery's wrong.
I gotta go.
Lowry's been
to the
drinking
next
beers.
page.
And so is Adam.
Yeah.
I don't know how the next episode's going to
real
work.
aggressive.
I probably won't even know how to press play.
What's going on? Okay. Next one.
Oh my God, I'm so high right now.
Carol. Totally. Stoltward. I can't even say any of this. Rem Carolus.
Rem or Rem? Rim?
Rem. My wife hates how I say bagel too. So
whatever. You say bagel?
Stalwart. I do.
Bag.
Stalwart Slayer.
Oh, I do too. Why am I
colorless
ripping you
red
bag?
white?
I
do too. It's a.
Oh no, you emphasize the bagel.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a bagel guy, but I'm a bagel.
Human Knight 2/3 flying haste. If a spell would deal damage to you or another permanent you control, prevent that damage. If a spell would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1 instead. This card is good. You're bad on this? This is game winning with Blasphemous Act as the commander. You just wiped everybody's creatures and all of yours are around.
To you or another permanent you control, prevent that damage. Okay. I thought it was saying prevent 1 damage for some reason in my head. Because the other one had the +1.
It to your opponents.
I was thinking the prevent. Okay.
So it's like a little mini Gisela almost, like doing a little bit different, but it's super cheap.
Yeah. Okay. So this would have to be a commander, right?
I think it can go if you're going into like I would probably put this in my Savine deck, which it has like, well, maybe not, because like I was thinking like Stuffy Doll decks where you're already blowing up everything, but you want that damage to go to Stuffy
I would
Doll,
be doing
so
like
you don't want that prevented.
Like earthquake effects where you're hitting all players and everything, or your pyroclasm or not pyroclasm, pyrohemia type stuff,
that would work.
Where you're just nailing everybody. Oh yeah. And the preventing all that. So I would. This could be an interesting just spell slinger. Well, it has to be a spell, so your pyrohemia would not work in that.
Correct.
But there's a lot of those spells that do that.
I think there's some potential there. I think it'd be a really cool commander.
Yes.
have to play around with it in the 99. Might not work there.
That one,
but it's definitely not garbage.
No,
it's very similar to the Boros guy from. Yeah, whatever. Moving on.
Cool story, Hansel.
Cool card. Cool card.
All right. Sarith the Viper's Fang, 2 and 2 green, human warlock, 3/4. Other tap creatures you control have death touch. Other untapped creatures you control have hexproof. Tap 1, untap target creature or land you control. This seems kind of fun. I don't know if I build just a mono green deck around that, but I like it in the 99 for sure. 99.
Easy. We're right there.
All right. Next one. Sigarda made back. She came back.
I'm not sure if I like this one. All right. Sigarda, Champion of Light. Yeah, Sigarda's the only one that lived from the last one.
Nerd! It gets blown out that it doesn't even appear on it didn't come across. I heard the beginning go, nerd! And then it just blew out the speakers.
It's so long. All right. Sigarda, Champion of Light. Colorless.
White.
Green. White. Let's see how I plan this stuff out ahead of time. 30 seconds before. 4/4 Angel. Flying Vigilance. Humans you control get +1/+1. Coven. Whenever Sigarda attacks, if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a human creature card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order.
Okay. So this is your human commander. 2 colors again, white and green.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it has to go. It has to go commander or bust. Right?
Yeah. This is not something you put in the 99, in my opinion.
Yep. I think that's all I have to say about that.
Disappointed. I like Sigarda.
Slow Gurk. Press the button.
It's a news.
Slow Gurk, the over slime.
Kid can't even read.
1 green and a blue ooze, 3/3 trample. Whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a 1/1 counter on it. Remove 3 1/1 counters from it. Return it to its owner's hand. When it leaves the battlefield, return up to 3 target lands from the graveyard to your hand.
What?
I don't like this one.
What?
Whenever
you what?
I don't like this one.
You don't?
Not really. When a land card is put in your graveyard, gets 1/1 counter. Remove 3 of them. Return it to. Oh, when it leaves the battlefield, that's how you're popping it back to your hand. You love this one?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I?
It's returning land, so you're getting your fetches and all that stuff. I see. My thought reading it was...
This is like a slower, legendary Life from the Loam.
Yeah. What my thought was like, how do you get rid of it? But it's the removing the 3 counters, returning it. Whenever land is... I suppose... Yeah.
Serious? Serious? This is Commander or 99.
It's not Commander.
It's not
I would
garbage.
say it's probably more 99, don't you?
No.
You don't have to lean
99.
back from the mic every time I say something. It just makes your mind
I'm just trying not to burp in the mic.
Or you just make it look dramatic. You're like,
yeah.
What?
It's like I'm getting away, farting a little bit, come back.
All right.
99
for me.
Commander
for you. Hour 30 minutes, and we're not even fucking.
We're doing great.
This is a 2-hour episode. I don't even know how we double cast tonight.
We might not.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. All right.
We're doing great. You're fine. We're almost done.
Wait.
I would just say build a better deck.
That was a pretty good one. Okay,
I would
I'm not
just
going to
say
flip this
build
one.
a better deck.
Holy shit, I don't think I realized this. All right. Tovolar, Dire Overlord, and then it's colorless red, green, 3/3. Whenever a werewolf you control.
Can I ask, what were you going to say? You're like, you said his name, and then you're like, and then you can't. Oh, wait, I actually got to say how much this thing costs to come out.
I was just going to, I'm skipping the backside. I'm super shortening this. Okay, so wolves and werewolves you control deal combat damage to a player. You get to draw a card. Fucking so good.
And it's not whenever
wolf.
one or more.
Or a
It's
wolf.
whenever a wolf
Yeah.
or a werewolf. So
Yeah.
multiples.
Yeah, it's super cheap. 3/3. And then day night bullshit. Yeah, day night bullshit. Backside, it has a Kessig Wolf run on it where you can like
Give something
creature
X plus O and trample.
plus X plus and trample, and so it's going to be dealing damage.
It still
and
has
the
that
drawing
ability
card
of drawing
stipulation.
cards on the backside,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Card's really good. Commander, 100%.
Yeah, it's Commander.
Commander.
But it's not the greatest.
It's going to take over everyone.
Yeah, it's just not the greatest. It's very boring, in my
Wait,
opinion.
what?
It's
What?
really? All it is
Yeah, I mean,
it's
if
attacking
it's boring,
and dealing damage, draw cards, and then you're pumping.
but you're just
stuff.
going to be drawing more wolves, and that's what werewolf decks wants to do.
And that's
Is just play more
all
wolves.
that's so straightforward. It's like
yeah,
play werewolves,
people
attack
want to
with
play
them,
with
draw
wolves.
cards.
This is
you
all,
pump one of them
this
up,
is
deal
all
damage.
those people want.
This is boring. They're not doing anything else. Their unique thing is it flipping from day to night. Woo.
Just put this in a deck with Maskwood Nexus, and then make it unique.
But it's still boring. You're attacking, dealing damage, and drawing cards. It's good.
That's all you want.
It's good.
That's all I want.
No, you gotta
That's
have
all I want
unique
from a deck.
things.
Whatever.
It's
Whatever. It's fine.
boring.
One more. Is this
Vadric,
me? This is you.
Astral Archmage. Hey, I got through a lot of these,
You did
reading these, and they might be really wrong, but still, it sounded okay. 1, blue, red,
Kid can't even read.
human wizard. 1, 2. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. As it enters the battlefield. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is its power. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put a 1/1 counter on it. God, that's freaking boring.
Math garbage!
That's my opinion on that.
I mean, it's like a really bad Mizzix. And if you know what Mizzix is, then you know why this is a bad Mizzix. If you don't, then that's fine. All right, moving on to
Better cards.
it's not Muff Garbage. It's 99 of one deck.
You mean
Maybe.
you meant to say
Math garbage!
Fine. All right.
it's not?
On
Wait,
to
wait.
the
Did you say it's
Commander
99
decks.
of one deck? It only fits in one deck.
Probably. I mean, it might fit in Calmax, but I don't know if that's somewhere that I want to be putting it.
All right, you start the first one of the Commander product.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. Eloise, Nephalia Sleuth. 3 colorless, blue, black. Human rogue 4/4. Whenever another creature you control dies, investigate. That includes tokens. Whenever you sacrifice a token, surveil 1.
Commander.
99,
Commander.
99,
Commander.
99.
I love this card.
Same.
I love this
Yeah,
card a
card's
lot.
sweet.
It's so friggin'
Card's
awesome.
sweet.
Because think
It's
of
like
this.
the best card in Commander sets.
If you're sacrificing a token creature, you not only are investigating, you're also surveilling. You're getting a double whammy with that. Like this thing is
And then whenever you sacrifice one of your clues, you get to also surveil.
Yeah, this is. Oh, I like that card. The one
Seems sweet.
one of the few cards I'll be buying from the set. Unlike the next card, actually, I don't remember if this one was good or not.
You're gonna make T coats, man.
Gore-Tex the Tomb Shell, 6 and 2 black. It is a 4/4 zombie turtle. This is what from Neverending Story? Is it Morgul?
Well, that's a
the
good point.
turtle?
I don't know what the name is.
You don't even care. The one that sneezes all over Atreyu. Yeah. Fantastic. As an addition to cast this spell, you may exile any number of creature cards from your graveyard. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Has Death Touch. When it attacks or dies, choose a card at random exiled with it and put that card into its graveyard's hand. Wait. With
Graveyard's
Gore-Tex, put
owner's
that
hands.
card in its graveyard's hand? Why is that not making sense to me?
It's owner's hand.
It's on the text there. Maybe they just spelled it. Yeah, okay,
Into
so
its
that's
owner's
why
hand.
the actual cards. Do you see Card Kingdoms? What they have there?
No, I don't read that. I just read out the
it
card.
says, I'm reading it word for word. Choose a card at random exiled with Gore-Tex and put that
Bug.
card into its graveyard's hand. I'm like, what? And on each version, it says it that way.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, like, this
Owner's
is
hand.
slow, but it's cool. I like it. 99.
99.
Math garbage!
That's my opinion. The second one was my opinion. All right,
Fine.
go to the next one.
Kerbis. Harvest Celebrant. X, green, Tree Folk. It is 0/0. Comes into with X 1/1 counters on it, and then remove a 1/1 counter from Kerbis.
Kid can't even read.
Kid can't
Thank
even
you,
read.
because I have the other button.
Remove a counter, prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn to another target creature with a 1/1 counter on it.
Math garbage!
Really?
There's plenty of 1/1 counter decks out there that want this card.
This is garbage. This is so garbage.
Plenty of 1/1 cards counter decks.
You're gonna
out
put
there.
this in there with that? This is just
This is
garbage.
gonna be in the 99. Yeah,
No,
preventing
this
all
is so
damage to one of your creatures just by removing.
It needs to have a 1/1 counter on it. It's so specific.
Yeah, but if it's a 1/1 counter deck,
It's
Hard Scales
so-
has played a ton. What do you mean?
Just-
Hit that 99. Hit that 99 for
Math
me.
garbage!
99.
There's your 99.
Thank you.
I'm not a fan.
Fine.
Kyler Sergarden Emissary 3.
Is that the quarterback for the Cardinals, or
Who just didn't really.
we just lost to them?
Just lost them because
Rough.
not because of the
Rough.
team didn't go down to win the game. They just missed a field
Too-
goal. Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Wizards of the Coast.
3, a green and a white human cleric. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on it. Other humans you control get 1/1 counters on, or get 1+1 for each 1/1 counter on Kyler. I like this card. It seems like a pretty sweet commander card. Dealing with 1/1 counters
How was the werewolf one boring and then this one cool?
because you just
Can you
this is-
explain that to
This
me?
is your human commander. This is like straight up just a human.
What do you think Kolvar was? Kovalar.
Boring because this
It was the werewolf.
You're doing damage by attacking and drawing cards. It's boring. This, you're freaking overrunning, Craterhoof Behemothing, doing all that fun stuff, and just killing the crap out of somebody. Where you put this one at Muff Garbage?
No, it's not muff garbage, but you. This is whataboutism, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so this card's fine. I like it. It's
Where does it go?
Commander.
That's what I said. Why do you?
Commander.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the difference between the werewolf one and the human one, they're both relatively boring,
okay.
but they're
So,
both kind of cool
to be honest with
in
you,
what they're
this is
doing.
how I would build this one.
It's just a tribal deck.
Well, but the cool thing with this is I would do. I guess it has to deal with one each counter on it, so it does matter about the counters. I was more
Yeah,
thinking of it as like Voltron type deck, where I was thinking equipment and stuff, but that doesn't work
No,
because of
no.
the counters. And then playing a bunch of little 1/1 stuff, humans, make soldier tokens and all that. While you're yawning, while I explain it. So who cares? Who cares? We both say commander. The other one's just boring. It's not that.
This is just
it's
as
good.
boring.
I didn't say that other one was garbage. That one was 90.
And I didn't say this one was garbage. They're relatively similar in what we're looking at.
Well, no, the other one's better for because you're drawing and all that, but it's just boring. This one is boring too. I'll give you that.
Adam's gonna make me Lenore some more. Autumn Sovereign. I was trying to go for Snore. All right. 2 colorless, green, white, human noble, 04 Coven. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on top or on up to one target creature you control. Then if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, draw a card.
What? It's doing awesome things. You're drawing. You're drawing
I
cards.
probably like the other one that you just talked
You're
about.
drawing
more
cards
than
if you
this
have
one.
3 or more.
This
creatures.
goes in that deck,
Yeah, it does.
which is what they did
It's right
for the
over.
commander set.
99.
Yeah. It's doing something, right?
Yeah. Lindy. Cheerful Tormentor.
Mary Poppins.
One blue,
She looks just like Mary Poppins.
black and red. Did you bring that up on the Discord, or was that?
I did. That was me.
And no one jumped on board and agreed with you.
Nobody. Mary Poppins is just a different form of the It Clown, and
that was pretty.
there's
That
a
was
Screen
awesome.
Rant video
That was pretty
on
awesome.
it. It's just one is good, one is bad, but they're the same creations.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Go with it. It's
Check
canon.
that video out. Link it on here. Human Warlock, Death Touch. Whenever a curse is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, return it to the battlefield attached to you at the beginning of the next end step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may attach a curse attached to you to one of your opponents. If you do, draw 2 cards. I know people are like, this is a curse, Commander, blah, 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 blah. How do you're building this deck around getting your curses sacrificed so that you're drawing cards to play more curse. I don't like this as much as people are going off on this card. Like, it's dealing with curses, but
people like curses.
You got to work at this shit. And you got to, I don't know. And then it's attached to you at your end step. So now you're going through 3 players of a curse that a lot of times is like, if you attack this player, you get such and such bonus. So all 3 players are attacking you because your next turn you're attaching it to them and you're drawing cards. This seems shitty.
It's not good. So there's the 2 things about what curses can do. They're affecting one person, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And some of them hurt the player that is being cursed, and others kind of help or could help. And so if they kind of hurt, you definitely don't want it attached to you, like you're saying, and because you're just going to get beat up if they get destroyed. And then you switch it and you draw 2 cards, or it's attached to you and you don't want to switch it, so you don't gain those 2 life.
Or 2 cards.
Or you don't draw those 2 cards. So, like, both instances is not very good.
Yeah. But think of this, though, like, what are you doing? Are you just playing a bunch of disenchants in your enchantment, like, base deck? Are you doing a bunch of... You're not in green, so you don't have that. You don't have white, so you don't have that. Those are good enchantment removal things. Are you waiting for other players to get rid of your enchantment so that they can see that your commander is going to draw you cards? Like this, for how many people went off on this? I don't know how many people really loved it, but people were excited about it. I think it's kind of garbage. I really do.
So one thing that could be probably boring but interesting is if a curse, whenever a curse is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return it to the battlefield attached to you at the beginning of your next end step. Okay. So, end of your next end step?
At the end step.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's been beginning of the next end step. So even if it's not your turn and it's somebody else's and they destroy it.
Of the next end step.
So imagine if you get like... You wipe out all the curses and then but you can only move 1. You may attach a curse attached to you to one of your opponents.
Yeah. And so like
a curse.
Do you really want to be sacrificing stuff that's already targeting other people?
I
obviously it's going to be commander, but it's going to be a bad commander. All right. Glad we figured that out.
The last one I think is a freaking sweet card, and that is yours, my friend.
All right. This is going to be Wilhelt the Rot Cleaver. 2 colorless blue-black, zombie warrior 3/3. Whenever a non-zombie you control dies, if it didn't have decay, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with decay. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. If you do, draw a card.
I think you said it weird. I'm not. Maybe I heard it wrong.
Drawing cards is boring.
Heard it wrong. But you said whenever a non-zombie dies. It just says whenever another zombie dies.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, whenever another zombie you control dies.
Is this the best zombie commander we have at this point? It seems interesting. It's not doing much more than creating more zombies and sacrifice a zombie. And it's only
It's cool.
at
I
the
don't
end
know
of
if
your
it's the
turn.
best, but it's in there.
Yeah.
Commander.
Yeah.
Commander.
Lord Commander.
I'm down.
Okay. I'm looking at myself in the camera and I'm like, God, I look fucking wasted, but I'm not. I'm only 4 beers deep. I need to get
So
away from the
drunk.
camera. I got to move away.
Yeah, no, I'm 3 and I'm getting there.
I got to hide my eyes. Either look drunk or stoned is what it looks like. Oh, man. Longest episode. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. All right, sweet.
No, we're at hour 47.
Yeah, we're that you're rounding up. We're almost at 2 hours.
Cut all that garbage out at the beginning.
The garbage of us going and getting beer too. That's only like 5 minutes.
That's like a minute or two.
All right. I think we gotta stop this because this is pretty ridiculous. So
Bye. Oh,
that's I didn't mean to like just completely cut it off there.
Oh.
All right. Well, that should do it for this week. Next week will be top 10 commander cards. We'll check you guys out next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
Sega.
I love boobs, I'm talking tatas. I love boobs, I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs, thanks for the memories. I love